beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today, as always, I have a general reading for you, and as always with a general reading, only take what resonates and leave the rest. It is a timeless message and can be past, present or future depending on where you're at on your healing journey. Spirit will always guide you to a message that you need to hear exactly when you need to hear it. And for the ease of channeling, I am going to use the pronouns he or she, but by all means swap them out for different pronouns if they don't fit for you. Okay, so we're going to take a look and see what Spirit want us to know today. I'm hearing look up. Look up. Someone is spending too much time looking down. I'm seeing a phone or some sort of device, and it doesn't have to be a phone. It's just that somebody's spending too much time looking down instead of looking up. Okay, and that could be metaphorical in that somebody is spending too much time focusing on the negative and not looking at the positives. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with looking at the negative. I highly encourage that, because to me spirituality isn't all love and light. Absolutely acknowledge the negative, but don't sit and dwell in it. It feels like somebody is sitting and dwelling in it. It's been too long now. You need to come out. Okay, and Spirit is saying you need to look up. Start looking up. There are signs all around you, but you're missing them because you're not looking. You're looking down at your phone. You're looking in the wrong places. Okay. There's something I'm seeing, like I am seeing a sky, so there's something about going for a walk and clearing your head, and whilst you're out, just look up at the clouds, look up at the sky. What are you noticing? Focus on, you're missing, there's something to do with missing the beauty of the journey, or missing the beauty in the life because you're so focused on, for want of a better way of putting it, the lack, what you don't have, where you so there's a real emphasis on the negative. Now, I don't really believe in negative and positive in a sense, because effectively the negative serves a purpose, so therefore it's not really a negative. It only becomes a true negative when you dwell in it. Okay, and what I'm seeing here is somebody who's kind of, now you could be looking at somebody else and you're so focused on somebody else and where they're at in their life and what they're achieving, and you're comparing yourself to them, and by doing that you're focusing on the lack. You're not focusing on, it's not a competition. We shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others. So this feels like some sort of unhealed wound within you that you need to heal within your shadow. Okay. For some of you, this is related to a person, and you're focused so much on this other person and trying to be them, trying to act, do what they do, because you think it's what's going to move you along. And I'm not going to say that the things that they're doing aren't going to help you, but you have to find what works for you. What works for one doesn't work for another. You need, I'm hearing, you need to tap into your spiritual toolbox. You need to do what works for you. And it may be that what this person is doing will work for you, but the intention behind it is very different. You're not doing it for the right reason. If you're doing it because you're in competition with someone, or you're trying to be, what I'm hearing, like a carbon copy of another person, then what you're doing is not for the right reasons, and that's why it's not going to work. If you're doing something because you want, I was going to say because you want to achieve a particular outcome, then it's not going to work, but it will. but you have to let go of the outcome. You can want a particular outcome, but you have to be okay with that outcome not happening. Okay, because that what's meant for one person isn't meant for another. All right. So there is something here about not comparing yourself to others, but there's whether you're comparing yourself literally to somebody else, it could just be metaphorical. In what you're doing is you're just focusing on what you don't have instead of what you do have, and this could be in any area of your life. Okay, there's a real need to acknowledge and be grateful for what you do have. That doesn't mean you can't acknowledge what you don't have. It means, okay, this is what I want, I'm going to be grateful for what I have whilst going after what I want. There needs to be a balance. There's an imbalance here. You're focusing someone, if this isn't you, this is somebody around you, and it may be that this information is coming to you about a person around you because you're being called. If you feel you're being drawn to a particular person, then it could be that this person is the person I'm talking about. But if you're being called to a particular person, it could be that spirit are wanting you to go in and help shift something for this person, to shift them out of this victim mindset. Not do it for them, but to kind of trigger them, in a sense, to unlock it for themselves, to help them unlock it. Okay, that may be part of your purpose, that you are going to have people that are perhaps drawn to you that are not able to, that are very much in a victim mentality, and they're going to look to you for guidance. It may be that this is somebody, if this isn't you, that there is somebody around you that isn't in a good place right now, who's trying to get you to connect with them, to get them to pull you out. But the problem I'm seeing is there's something about needing to use your discernment, okay? Because for some of you, you're actually being called to go towards a person. For others of you, if you're being guided away from a particular person, it's because the person that is trying to, whoever this is in their victim mentality, and I say that with love, okay? Victim mentality isn't meant to be a put down, it's how we describe the energy. But there is somebody in victim energy, and for some of you, this person is in victim energy and they're not asking for help. They feel like they are a burden and they do not want to burden you, and you're being called and pulled towards them. So use your discernment with regards to where you feel like you're being pulled. But for others of you, there is a person who's in victim mentality who wants to pull on your energy for you to do the work for them, to pull them out of their funk. So they basically want you to come in and tell them they need to do X, Y, and Z to manifest what it is that they desire. The problem with that is, if I feel like that's a cycle with somebody where you've helped them in the past, but this person kind of wants you to wave a magic wand. They're not learning to do it for themselves. And I feel that if this is the situation that you're in, you're being pulled away from this person. It's like this person's energy, because they're so desperate, because their intention isn't to gain your knowledge and then go do the work for themselves, or to get your advice and guidance and then go do the work themselves. It's just purely for them to come in, vent to you, and you go, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for you. They want you to do the work for them. They don't want to do the work. This person it's like, I'm feeling really repelled by this energy, and even it's almost like I want to reach out to this person, but there's a block. I'm being stopped, and I just kind of want to avoid them. And it's because their energy is so desperate. It's actually making me feel like I'm getting like uncomfortable in my skin. And I had this in a reading, either I did yesterday or a couple of days ago. But their energy is so desperate it's pushing you away. It's repelling you like magnets, okay? It's not attracting your energy, because you're naturally vibrating high, and you're ascending. It's going to automatically send out this signal to others, and there are going to be people that are just really attracted to that energy because they want to gain access to your knowledge, and that's going to be okay depending on that person coming towards you, their intention. But I wanted to say, you're at a time where that's not going to work anymore. Healers are being protected. Chosen ones are being protected from anyone with ill intention towards them. And that doesn't mean that doesn't just mean from people that mean physical harm. I'm not resonating with that, but it's more about those people that believe that they've got true intentions and are not seeing that actually their intentions aren't pure. They think they're good people, and I'm not saying that they're not, but they're still coming in. And it's kind of like that. There are people that will vent to you because they want your help and advice. Then there are people that want to vent to you because they're just getting it off their chest and they don't need you to fix it. Like, I'm hearing someone say, do you want me to are you asking me to fix it? What is your intention with venting, with telling me this information? Are you wanting me to fix it? Are you wanting me to give you my advice and guidance, or are you just wanting me to listen? And that's the difference. If people are coming towards you and venting all their problems at you and expecting you to have all the answers for them, and they're not using their own intuition, these people as well, they may be good people. They may be beautiful, beautiful souls, but you're going to be protected from those because they do not have pure intentions towards you. They are siphoning their energy vampires, but they're unintentional. There are people out there who will know that they're energy vampires. They feed off of your light, and they know they do it. And those people, you're 100% going to be protected from. It doesn't mean that you won't come up against them, but you will very, very quickly be able to tell who they are, and you will be moved away. Blocks will be placed. Okay, a shield of protection will be placed around you, and you will be moved out of the way. There are also people that don't realise that they're energy vampires because I can't quite find the words to explain what I'm trying to say, but I'm hoping you're picking up what I'm putting down. There are people that will vent their problems to you, and that's absolutely fine if they're also looking at the bigger picture and realising that they're just going through a tough time and everything's going to be okay. But then there are also people, those people you can work with, but there are those people that will expect you to fill their cup for them. They will come to you when they need their cup filled, expect you to fill it, expect you to give them all the answers, take you for granted, and then when you don't give them that, they're going to get shitty. And that's the energy I'm feeling. And it doesn't mean that those people aren't good people. It's just that they're not self-aware. They're not aware that what they're doing is, for want of a better way of explaining it, toxic. It is a toxic cycle. And I feel like there's been somebody that you've been in this cycle with that comes to you when they're really, really struggling, but they come to you, they don't come to you outrightly saying they need this, that, or the other. They'll come to you in a sneaky way and kind of manipulate you to get what they want out of you. The example I'm being shown is somebody who, let's say you're a spiritual teacher, or you have spiritual knowledge, or you're some sort of self-help, like counsellor or something like that, or you've just got a natural healer ability. Maybe you're just a healer, and there's different ways that can come out, okay? But there's something about the knowledge and information and the wisdom that you have to transform the negative into a positive. Whatever you go through, you're able to transform that, and you're able to come out on top, okay? Because there's a lot of things that you've been through that would break somebody. What I'm seeing is someone coming towards you and saying, oh, let's meet up for a coffee, and you being all like, and this is like past energy, like, yeah, that's great, I really want to connect with you, we haven't met up in a while, let's catch up. But this person's intentions for actually meeting up with you is to kind of like, oh, I'm going to buy you a coffee, have this coffee, and then they're going to drop into conversation something that's going on with them to get some sort of knowledge and advice for you. So the example I'm being shown myself as an example. My intuition, I'm tapped into spirit. I can see people's patterns, I can see different timelines, and I can see different potential outcomes for people. If someone was to come towards me, what I'm seeing is somebody coming towards me. So I'm going to assume that this is someone coming towards you, the collective. Okay, you may be the person on the other side that's trying to go towards the collective and is maybe trying to find out information via my videos how to do that. Take it as it resonates and place yourself where you fit. But what I'm seeing is someone coming towards me with a cup of coffee. Okay, now I have always told friends and family that I don't expect, like, people will ask me to do the private readings and things like that, and they'll always say, I'll pay you, but it's not about the money for me, okay? Sometimes in doing that, what they're saying is, I really don't want to pay you, and they're trying to guilt trip you into giving them a free reading or giving them free information. So what I try to do is I say to people, I'm happy to do personal readings. You can either give me a donation of what you think my reading is worth. I just want to drop in here, I'm not open to personal readings at this time, okay? I'm not advertising that I'm doing personal readings. This is just an example. So in the past I've said, oh yeah, I'll do your personal reading, and people have said, oh, I'll pay you, and I've gone, oh, no, because I've fallen into that trap of, I'm picking up on they don't really want to pay. I feel guilty charging for my gifts, because there's very much a taboo around charging people. Like, if you're charging people for readings, then you're automatically seen as a fraud, and that isn't the case, okay? It takes a lot to channel energies from spirit, and it drains us. It's a gift. It's no different to a hairdresser or a carpenter using their gifts. We've still had to, in a way, train. We still have to buy resources to assist people. So I try to have that balance of putting free stuff on my socials and charging for personal readings, okay? But I've said to people in the past, oh, it's okay, just buy me a cup of coffee, or don't worry about it. So what I'm seeing here is that somebody's kind of using that to manipulate. And what I'm seeing is, when I've arranged to meet up with people for coffee, my intention has been literally to catch up with what's going on with them and in their own lives. My intention hasn't been to go and give that person a personal reading, to go and give that person guidance and advice, because that to me is work. Okay, for me, meeting up with people to catch up with them, especially if someone says it's a catch up, it's a personal, that's my personal time, right? But the person coming towards me is offering me a coffee. They're making out it's, oh, let's meet up and catch up and you know, on what's been going on in our own lives, and, you know, just hang out. But the intention behind the coffee is, I'm going to buy you this coffee, I'm going to give you this coffee So when I ask you for guidance and advice and a message from spirit, and I want you to tap into spirit, they don't then have to feel guilty for asking for that or paying me because they've bought me a coffee. It's a tactic to make me feel guilty to hand over that information. Now, in the past, I've done that and I've wised up to it, okay? I know that people's intentions towards me haven't been pure, and yet I've still given to them because I'm a natural healer. I just want to help people, okay? Even if and at times it's been to the detriment of my own health. What I'm seeing here is somebody's getting a little bit agitated because they've tried to come at you in that energy, in that past energy of, I'm going to buy you a coffee, I'm going to make out it's because we're meeting up, I want to meet up and catch up with what's going on with you, but really I need your spiritual guidance, I need your advice, I need you to validate my intuition, I need you to give me a future prediction of what's coming for me, what I need to do to get X, Y and Z. But you're not giving that to them, and I can feel them getting very, very frustrated. Spirit are protecting you from this person, okay, and people with that energy. But my point is, going back to what I was saying, although on the surface that person thinks they're giving to receive, their intention isn't pure because they're being deceitful about what they really want from you. And the thing is, you know, and you always know what they want from you, but you just don't let on. But now you're at a point in your healing where you're just not going to entertain those sort of cycles anymore. Come to me correct, come to me with what you really want from me, or I'm just going to pretend like you don't exist. I'm just going to cut you off, I'm going to love you from a distance, and you're going to have to go over there, because I'm not going to empty my cup to fill yours. If you come to me and say to me, I really need your help and guidance, I really need a personal reading, can you do me a personal reading? In exchange, I can't offer you any money, but I can buy you a coffee. Would you do that? That's different. That's completely different. That's a completely different energy. Then you're coming with pure intentions. But there's an energy here of like, you've always sinned through people. You've always sinned that they want something from you. But you were dealing with the unhealed part of you that felt like you had to give to everybody because you didn't want to. It was about people pleasing, really. People pleasing, and what these people are now having to, basically, by continuing to allow these people to do this to you, you're not helping yourself and you're not helping them. They need to grow. They're not going to grow and ascend. You're not effectively doing healing work by allowing these cycles to continue. So these cycles are ending. Anyone with ill intentions that are not honorable, intentions that are not pure towards you, they're not gonna have access towards you. Anyone, because I feel that there's an energy of here that someone you wanted to, that it's very much like, because what people need to understand, especially about people that tap into their intuition on a daily and tap into like use divination, is it's very, very draining. And when someone says to us about meeting up generally to hang out and just catch up, that's helping us to fill our cups. If we know that we're meeting up with someone to do that and do a personal reading, or to give them guidance and advice from spirit, that's absolutely fine. We can prepare for that. But and because we can see that the intention is pure. But what I'm saying is there's people that have been taking advantage of your kindness. I just don't think that they realise that they've been taking advantage of your kindness, or they're just hoping that you won't see it. And it feels to me like they're getting really frustrated because they can't gain access to you, because it feels like they're getting desperate. They need some guidance. They need advice. Nothing's going right for them, but they're not tapping into their own intuition. They're using yours, and they're not valid. They're using, and if it's not yours, there's something here about they're going looking elsewhere. They're looking, I said about looking down at a phone. It's something about someone over watching tarot or overly tapping into other people's guidance. Taking everything that somebody says in a general reading for themselves. But what it's doing is it's causing conflict and chaos and confusion within them, and they're looking for a person, like, they want you. It feels to me like this could be a friend of yours. It's either a friend or family or someone that you know. Somebody is trying to they want you to clarify, ease the confusion that's going on for them. But this is confusion that they've created for themselves. As I always say at the beginning of my readings, not every part of a general reading is going to be for you. So only take what resonates and leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate for you now, that doesn't mean it won't in the future. But if it's not resonating for you, if it doesn't feel good, then it's not for you. Put that part of the reading down. Only take what's for you, and make sure that you are cleansing your energy before and after watching tarot readings, before and after watching guidance. But it feels like this person isn't getting what they want from you, or they're tapping into yours, and then they're almost getting a contradictory message from somebody else that they're tapping into, and it's conflicting and it's confusing them because they're taking everything, literally everything, for themselves. They're claiming it as a personal reading, and it's not a personal reading. It's a general reading. It may feel like a personal reading, and sometimes there will be a whole reading that does resonate for people, but not every reading is for you or this person, okay? So you really need to use your discernment. You really need to be careful. I feel like I'm tapping into the other person that is trying to use tarot readers and divination, things outside of them, to clarify as their intuition, and it's not, if it's creating confusion, then it's not for you, okay? Let's pull some cards now and get some clarification on this, on what's coming through, or more information. What do we need to know about this energy, please, Spirit? But I can feel like as I'm getting this energy's come through, it feels really frustrated. I feel like my face is heating up, which means that this person is embarrassed and ashamed. So if you're watching this video now and you are this person that's been tapping in, and you're the one who's trying to reach out to someone to go for a coffee, that's just an example. It may not be like that. It may be, oh, let's just hang out, let's go to the park, let's go to the cinema. But what they want is not just to hang out with you, okay? It's the energy, not confirmation. There's no need to feel embarrassed and ashamed. Learn from the lesson and move forward. Heal the part of you that needs constant validation from outside of you. You should be using your own intuition. Readings outside of you should basically be validating your own intuition. Yes, sometimes there will be readings that will talk about future energies where there will be a warning. But again, on some level, you should still feel that energy coming towards you, okay? There may be sometimes you may get warnings, or you'll get advice and guidance how to move through something before it arrives so that you can shift through it a lot easier. That's absolutely fine. But when someone predicts that something's going to happen, like a baby, a house, a new car, that doesn't necessarily mean that is for you. It's only for you if that's what something that you've been hoping for, manifesting. And sometimes even when we want those things, it doesn't mean that we're going to get those things, because those things, as much, sometimes we do want things that are not for us. Okay. We have celebration. This again is giving me the energy of needing to focus on what you have instead of the lack. Okay, that one's gone back in. Focusing, being more grateful and focusing on what you have instead of what you lack is going to set you free. It's going to help you clear cycles. We have feathers, okay? Feathers are protection. Loved ones in spirit. Yeah. Nature. Somebody needs to get out in nature, because there are signs in nature for you, okay? Stop looking down and start looking up. There is some sort of transformation. Somebody in spirit is trying to get your attention, but because you're looking down all the time, you're not seeing the messages from them. If somebody feels like they're trying to get a message from somebody in spirit, there is a spirit, there is a person in spirit, a loved one that's passed over, that has a message for you, but you're not seeing the messages. They're sending you signs, and it could be in the form of feathers, okay? So take that as an confirmation. If you've been seeing feathers, it's a passed over loved one trying to get your attention, but you're not, it feels to me like you're missing the signs because you're so focused. See, this is the thing. What's coming through for me is this is about somebody who, when there's a belief system here within that, for some reason, when someone passes over, that I want to try and tread lightly with this. So I'm going to start with, I've lost people, okay? I have passed over loved ones. So I do understand where you're coming from, and this was a belief system that I used to have, that because they've passed over, you have to be miserable, you can't be happy. They want you to be happy, okay? You're passed over, whoever this is that's passed over for you, or if this is like a spirit child that's waiting to come in, they want you to be happy without them. You need to learn to be happy without them. Focus on the good times that you had with this person, not the fact that they're missing, not the stuff. That doesn't mean ignore the bad stuff, but don't dwell on it, because all it's doing is lowering your vibration and blocking your manifestations. There's this belief system that people have that if we sit in our grief, that we're going to be more connected to our loved ones because, well, I don't know why really, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The happier we are, the more connected to our loved ones in spirit that we are, and the more signs from them we are going to be open to receiving. So if you want to connect with your loved ones in spirit, raise your vibration, do what makes you happy. That's when you're going to feel them around, okay? I keep pulling on my right ear and it's itching, okay? It's like it's like I'm feeling this pull on my right ear. Someone's pulling your ear. Someone's pulling your ear. You may be feeling like someone's pulling your ear, but it may be feeling like more of an itch. That's somebody trying to get your attention, okay? It could be your left ear or your right ear. Mine is specifically on my right ear. I'm kind of like, my ear is kind of like itchy, so I'm scratching it, but at the same time I'm tugging on it. And I just heard a car horn outside. So yeah, definitely somebody is trying to get your attention, perhaps through pulling your ear, or it may be something that they did to you whilst they were alive. Okay, they want you to celebrate your life. They want you to celebrate their life, celebrate the life that they had, not the life that they've lost. They're free. They are absolutely free from any pain, anything like that. Okay? I'm really being drawn to this child and the mother. I'm going to talk about my own child that passed over. Okay, so bear with me because this year's been a little bit tough, and every year is different. Okay, and it was my child that I lost. He was the one who changed the way I thought about grief and sadness. Okay, so for years I would, on his birthday, on the anniversary of his death, and at Christmas, I would always go to the crematorium where I scattered his ashes. And then one year I remember getting so anxious about going and I couldn't work out why. And I ended up not going, and I felt so guilty and so ashamed that I couldn't do that one thing for him. I couldn't show up for him. Because he was just a month old when he passed, and I didn't feel like, as a mother, I did what I could to protect him. I couldn't save him, okay? I had to hand his care over from birth to hospital staff, and so the guilt of not being able to, as a mother, you want to protect your children, you want to save your children, and I couldn't save him. So for years I carried that guilt and shame, and the only thing I could do for him was to visit him on his anniversaries. And one year I got really anxious and I couldn't work out why, and I ended up not going, and I was really beating myself up about it. And I was like, right, the next anniversary, I'm going. I'm going to kick this anxiety in its behind, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to lay flowers where I scattered him. And I heard this little voice say, Mum, I'm not there anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm everywhere. Wherever you are, I am. You don't have to go. I don't want, and he outrightly told me he does not want me visiting his ashes anymore because he's not there. He's free. He's everywhere. And by keep going was keeping me in a cycle of grief and sadness, and I wasn't moving on with my life. It was blocking me moving forward. And he gave me a completely new perspective on grief, so that when my mum passed away, instead of, I grieved, but at the same time I made a conscious decision to live my life free from the expectations of others, so that I did, how can I explain this? So that basically, because she passed over, not being able to do all the things that she wanted to do, visit all the things that she wanted to visit, I made a conscious choice to make sure that I live my life in a way for them. I honour them, and I honour my passed over loved ones by doing all the things that they now can't do, by savouring the little moments, the simple things like eating a bar of chocolate, being able to feel the cold when I step outside the front door, feel the sun when in the summer, going and visiting zoos, or taking nature walks, or spending time with my family. I honour those things, and I appreciate those things now, because they're things that we take for granted, that our passed over loved ones are no longer able to do. They're still doing them because they're there with us, they're along for the ride, but they're not doing them in the same way, okay? And it really helped change my perspective on life. I now live life not just for them, but I live my life the way I want it to, free from the guilt and shame of others' expectations. It freed me. In a way, it freed me. And I feel more connected to them than ever. Okay? That's what they want for you. They want you to celebrate your life. They don't want you looking down at your phone or focusing on the things that you don't have, the things that you miss about them. You can miss them, but look at them fondly. Flip the script. Okay? And you're going to start feeling them around more often. There's something about getting out in nature. Was this person a nature person? Is there something in nature for that where a particular place in nature they would have gone? Go there. That's where you will find them. Okay? There's a need to let go of the past. Stop dwelling. All I keep hearing is stop dwelling. Stop dwelling. Let's get some tarot and get some more clarification on this. There's something here to do with there's very much something here to do with family and stability, because we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is my family card, my stability, my abundance. Over this card has a picture of a family on it. The Two of Pentacles is about juggling, trying to balance things. There's something out of balance here. One thing is up in the air and the other one is down here. Again, look, I mean, look, she's looking down. She's looking down at the ground. You're focusing, this could be metaphorical in that you're focusing on the physical, again, the lack, the what is not in front of you, rather than focusing on what you can't see. Okay? There's a need to trust what you can't see. Your crown chakra, I was going to have to say chakra, crown chakra could be blocked, because if you're focusing on the physical and not the spiritual, then you're not tapped into your trust and faith with the divine. You're not tapped into your connection with the divine. There's a need to do some clearing around the crown chakra. And as I'm speaking about that, my third eye feels like it's vibrating, okay? And the top of my head just felt really tight. The back of my neck as well. That's your mouth of God, or the Alta Major chakra. There's a need to clear your chakras, specifically the ones around your head. So your crown chakra, your third eye, your ear chakras, because that's going to help you tap into your discernment, and your altar major on the back of the neck, and the throat chakra on the front. I'm seeing teal. So if you're being drawn to the colour teal, or like teal's a very difficult colour, because some people will say it's like more green than blue, and others will say it's more blue than green. Whatever you're drawn to is what you need to incorporate into your daily life, either by wearing it, just looking at the colour will do. I was going to say drinking it, but I'm trying to think of something that you could drink that's the colour of teal, and I don't know if that's necessarily a healthy thing to do, so take that as it resonates. I'm not sure why drinking the colour teal was coming through, but hey ho. But there's something here to do with something. You have an idea about something that's going to bring you a lot of happiness, or you're looking for more information. This is what, yeah, that makes more sense. There's something that you're confused about whether or not it is for you. Something that you really want, but you're confused as to whether or not it's for you, or whether or not it's not going to happen for you. Whether or not it's going to happen for you or not. Yes, it's something you want to know if it's for you or not for you. There is some confusion around it. It's like you're going back and forth. You're confused. If it's confusing you, then walk away. Walk away. You're looking for you. If you're confused, then I would recommend that you get a personal reading. Okay, but find a reader that resonates for you. But also bear in mind that even if you do go and have a personal reading with someone, that it may not come through, okay? Because when it comes to messages from spirit, we don't always get the messages that we want. We get the messages that we need to hear at that moment in time, okay? Because sometimes we're just not ready to hear something, especially if it's something about something we really want to manifest, and spirit are saying not at this time. You're not going to want to hear it, are you? We have Six of Pentacles. Something's not balanced. There is an imbalance. Or again, this is you going back and forth over whether or not a message is for you, whether or not something that's manifesting is for you. There's something here about justice. Ooh. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands. Somebody's confused over karma. Whether or not they're not something... Somebody's confused as to whether or not something they're going through is karma. We have Three of Pentacles, which talks about collaboration. Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Somebody's confused over whether or not someone is receiving karma, or if they're receiving karma. That's interesting. That feels to me, this could be something to do with a karmic family. Someone's having a hard time. Okay, this feels to me like whoever this was that this feels to me like the energy that I'm tapping into right now is the person trying to come towards the collective and gain some sort of knowledge. Someone is seeing somebody being really abundant, this happy family, something going on, and they're confused. Okay, they're confused. This person is confused because they were told things weren't going well, things were a little bit out of balance for a particular person. This could be the collective. But on the surface, everything looks like it's going okay. So they're confused. There's something to do with someone else isn't something about two people disconnecting. Okay, could be more, but we'll go with two for now. Two people disconnecting, and one person is absolutely miserable over being disconnected from this other person, and this other person, who I'm going to say is the collective, is kind of living their best life, or that's how it looks to this person, and they're getting a little bit angry and frustrated because they're confused over why the collective isn't talking to them, and two, whether or not it's something to do with this person started. It feels like someone cut the collective off. This feels to me like I started this reading talking to the collective and someone coming towards you. This now feels, given that I'm more focused on the lack energy, this feels like the person that's trying to get to the collective and is being blocked. Okay, so if you're still watching this reading, Spirit is saying this is your clarification. They're gonna try and clear up the confusion. Okay, the collective, somebody kind of tried to ghost the collective because they were mad and they were upset over something, and it could be something to do with the fact that they're grieving and they needed the collective to validate them, or they wanted a message from this Passover loved one or something like that, and they didn't receive what they wanted from the collective. But instead of finding out what went on, they kind of just got shitty and ghosted, with the intention that the collective would then chase them and validate their upset at the collective. The collective didn't change. They carried on. They saw through it. They knew what was going on. They broke this cycle. I talked about a cycle where someone would come to you and say, you want to meet up for coffee. That's just the example. Meet up for coffee just to catch up. But the intention was to gain spiritual knowledge and wisdom from you, or some sort of healing. Okay. But in a sneaky way. And the collective isn't playing those games anymore. They're not allowing that cycle to continue. They're breaking the cycle. So they've now stepped away. Because it feels to me like somebody reached out to someone, and then it feels to me like the collective reached out for whatever reason at that time. Whoever this was that wanted to gain knowledge and information from the collective, from this healer, ghosted this healer, and this healer's gone, okay, get on with it. I don't play games. We don't play mind games. Come and be honest with me. If you've got a problem with me, you come tell me. If not, it's no skin off my nose. I'm going to continue to focus on me. This person feels like they've then kind of got stroppy because the collective hasn't pandered to their needs, and they've looked for ways. They've tried to sneakily come back in whilst trying to brush things under the carpet because they want something from the collective, but the collective is being protected from that person's energy because the intentions aren't pure. And spirit are like, absolutely not. No, 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 no. They want to end these negative cycles of people using them and taking them for granted and not being straight up and honest with them about what they want from them. And we're not, you know, we're going to respect the collective's boundaries, and therefore we're going to put this protection in place for them. You will not have access. But then what's happened is because you didn't chase, or the collective didn't chase, you've then gone, oh crap, they're not coming. I'll reach out, and they've now ghosted you. And it feels to me, I was just going to say, it feels to me like you're blaming someone else for this person not reaching out. But what you're doing is you're now projecting. So you've gone from projecting at the collective, this healer, whoever it is you wanted to meet up with, and you've gone from projecting at them to projecting at someone around them, which is why you're still not having access to them, because you're still projecting. You're not taking responsibility. You're not taking responsibility. It feels to me like the collective is very much trying to avoid you because your energy is kind of pushing them away. Like it's not pure, and when it enters into their energy, it's going to trigger a reaction, like almost like a chemical reaction, where it causes like anxiety and like this friction because the vibrations are like a not match, and they're like fighting each other. They're like, it's like trying to put two magnets that are your opposing vibrations. You're like opposite ends of the scale, but if you put a pair of magnets together, the same end of the, I believe it's the same end, they will repel each other, and that's kind of what is happening. You're just not a vibrational match at this time, okay? I've kind of lost my trail of thought of where I was going with that. So yes, to answer your question, this is your karma for messing with a chosen one. You are now receiving karma. If you're seeing that this person is happy and abundant and doing really well without you, then you're the one who effed up. So maybe you're now having regrets over your choices and your decisions, and you're realizing, actually, I don't think, maybe, I think on some level you are starting to question, but you're still projecting. You may not no longer be projecting at this healer, but you are projecting at people around them. Either their children, or their partners, their family. Something about, there's a jealousy and an envy that these people have got access to them. There's something here about, I've known them longer. So this person could have somebody around them, another friend, a partner, a husband, or a child, where you've known the collective, this healer, longer, much longer than they have, even their own children. And there's like this entitlement that because you've known them for as long as you have, that automatically gives you priority over everyone else in their life. It doesn't work like that. You don't have priority over someone's family unless they give it to you, okay? You don't have priority over somebody's marriage unless they give it to you. But there's something about being jealous and envious of a child in particular. There's jealous and envy around a child, but there's jealousy and envy around basically you're upset that this person's hanging out over a third party, that this person's connecting with someone else. It's almost like they don't just how they have done nothing to deserve. Like I've been there for years. I've been around this person for years. But have you truly supported this person? Have you? How? Because time means nothing. Connection means everything. It's actions. Have you genuinely supported this person for the whole time you've known them? Or have you just said that you have? Because there's something to do with, I don't understand why I'm being cut off. I've done nothing but support you. I've done nothing but support this person. But have you? Have you attended their important events? Did you show up for them when they needed you? And not just for the bad, for the good too. And not just for the good, for the bad too. Equally, both, the balance. Because there's something here that's telling me that there is a disconnect between you and this person that you're trying to access. That something wasn't being built on a firm foundation, and you really need to go back and look at yourself, look at the relationship, and ask yourself why. Because it feels to me that you're not seeing the signs. It may be that this person, it feels like someone hinted to you. There was something about you were given some sort of information, but you didn't take it on board. You didn't think it applied to you because you placed yourself too highly in this person's life. Confirmation. But there is something here about, yes, you are receiving karma. Okay, we have Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups. And they came out as I was looking at this Justice card. There's something here about this Queen of Cups feels like this intuitive person that you're disconnected from. And this feels like someone who is physically in age. It feels like they're physically younger than this person. Or it could, again, represent that they haven't been around as long. I feel like there's something here about there's a jealousy and envy about this healer not focusing on you and focusing on this third person, this third party. I'm going to clarify this Justice card, okay? Because I keep being drawn to it. Yeah, this is about a lover's connection. Moving forward. High Priestess. Yeah, this is about this healer cutting off relationships that are not actually genuinely supporting and don't have pure intentions towards them. You're really confused because you don't consider yourself to be a bad person, and I don't consider you to be a bad person. But even good people can have intentions towards others that aren't pure, because sometimes we act in certain ways that we don't realise our intentions aren't pure. You're trying to balance the scales by, I'll give you this in exchange for this, but you're not being honest about it. You're expecting something in return. You're not just doing it because you want to do it. You're not just buying this person a cup of coffee because you like hanging out with this person and you enjoy their company. You may well do, but it wasn't your intention for meeting up with them, and you weren't honest about it, and that's why there's a disconnect between you and this person. Because you weren't honest about your intentions. You feel like the third wheel in somebody else's relationship. And that doesn't have to be a relationship with another person. It could be their work. It could be a family. It could be a child. but you feel like you're the third wheel, and that this person is too focused on their family and relationships. This person is very much focused on relationships that are truly supportive of them, and the people that are going to, when the issues arrive, they're going to work through them with truth and with honesty, without being defensive. And unfortunately, you don't fall into that bracket at this moment in time. That doesn't mean that you won't in the future. You genuinely do not feel like a bad person to me, okay? You feel like you have good energy, but you're stuck in this cycle of victim mentality, and this person being in your life is not going to help you to get out of it, because you're taking their advice and guidance, but you're not doing the work. You're not then going off on your own to do the work. You're expecting someone to come in and wave a magic wand, and that's just not going to wash anymore, okay? Not for you and not for this person. So yes, you are receiving karma, okay? But karma doesn't have to be a bad thing if you choose to look at what it's trying to teach you and do the work, okay? This person feels very much like they're receiving their dharma, okay? I think I'm going to close this reading out, because I'm starting to feel really, really drained and really, really tired. Let's end with some affirmations. This wasn't the best reading, but with this coyote, I'm hearing pray. It's almost like there's an energy here of you're like observing this person, but it's almost, you need to be careful because it's verging on obsession. It's not so much obsession, but desperation. Like, you could be spying on them on their socials, or it may be that they've gone quiet on a particular platform and they're just focusing, or maybe that's what you're upset about, that they're not posting on the platform that you want them to be posting on, okay? So they may have multiple social media platforms, and they're not posting, they're not focused on the platform that you prefer. So therefore you're not gaining access to them, their knowledge and wisdom. So maybe you feel like you've been blocked because they're not providing what you need in the way you want it. But the energy, the information, the guidance is still there on another platform, but you're wanting them to literally hand it to you on a plate. You're not going to look for it. Like, you're not willing to. So if you say you support this person, wouldn't you support them across all platforms? Why must they post on a particular platform because it's the only one you use? It feels to me like you have other platforms, you have access to other platforms, but when it comes to this person's something to do with this person's platforms, you're only willing to support them on one platform, and maybe I feel, and to be fair, that feels like it's lacking anyway. So it's almost like you're supporting this person secretly, because there's something to do with supporting this person. You feel like supporting this person out loud is the unpopular opinion, and that there's something to do with you knowing this person. So you know other people. It's something like about mutual friends finding out that you're supporting this person and them cutting you off, but you're willing to support strangers openly, okay? Because it feels to me like there's two readers, okay, that you go between two intuitive people specifically. You're willing to openly support the one that you don't actually know on a personal level with whatever they're posting, but you're not willing to support the person that you've known the longest. For one, because they're not posting what you want them to be posting. They're not posting where you want them to be posting. There's something to do with remaining anonymous. So you may be supporting them on a platform where people won't know that you're supporting them because it doesn't show people you support them, like YouTube. It doesn't show when people like certain things, it doesn't show you who has liked it. The only way you find out if someone's watched it is if they make a comment. Okay, because it doesn't show the likes like it does on other platforms. But I've just heard the word audacity. You're expecting this person to support you in the way that you want it, in the way that you think that you need it, but you're not supporting them. So this is karma. You're getting what you give, basically, okay? We have I am connected. Okay, affirmations are positive statements about how you want to be, how you want your life to be, and used on a regular basis, they can really help to maintain a positive mindset. Okay, I'm really struggling as to whether or not I'm actually going to put this reading out, because it really does feel like I'm really putting you down, and I'm not doing it to put you down. The message is coming through to raise your awareness, to raise your self-awareness of why this person is being off with you, why they are avoiding you. Your intuition is correct. They are avoiding you. You're not as supportive towards this person as you think you are. And when you are, you're not doing it for the right reasons. So that means that your intentions aren't pure. Okay? I am calm. But there feels like there's another reader that you knowingly support, and you have no problem putting your name to it, so to speak, even though they're a complete stranger and you've never met them. But somebody that you've had face-to-face conversations with, someone that you've known for years, you're not willing to put your name to their work. So how can you say that you truly support someone if you're not willing to make it known that you support them? You're supporting them in the shadows. I am passionate. This person is passionate about moving forward and focusing on the people that are genuinely supporting them. And it may be that if they've stopped posting on a particular platform, maybe it's because that platform isn't giving them, they're not getting the feedback from that particular platform that they are on another platform. So maybe they were spreading themselves over all these platforms, posting things and giving and giving and giving, and from their own cup, and it got to a point where a particular platform wasn't getting any response. So instead of continuing to waste their time and energy by putting more onto it and putting into it, they've decided to focus on the platforms that are returning what they're giving. Okay, but there's also something here about relationships as well. That could be their relationship with social media. Their relationship with social media has changed. Okay, it's not a personal attack on you if you're not finding their content on a particular platform, because it's still on other platforms. You have the choice as to whether or not you access it. But what I'm seeing here is that it's almost like you're playing. I don't know if you're doing it intentionally or not, but you're kind of like playing off two people that are doing the same thing, but you're willing to give so there's something here about, maybe you think that by giving this person a cup of coffee, that makes up for the information that you're receiving off of their platforms. But then you're continuing to ask for more information from them whilst having coffee. So the coffee that you're giving them is for the energy that you're receiving in that moment. It's not for all the other stuff. There's something here about, I'm hearing likes. It's something to do with the likes, okay? This person doesn't need the validation. But when you like something that you've interacted with, whether you resonated with it or not, you're giving back to that person. That person's put time and energy into that, and if you're taking it and not even a like, a comment, something like that is completely free. When you do that, you're giving back to that person, that creator, that, you know, if you can't buy something from someone, share the post so that someone else can. That's how you can support people, by sharing. You don't have to, it doesn't have to cost anything. It doesn't have to cost anything. A like, a comment, a subscribe, it's all free. But it shows that you support that person and you're giving back to that person. But there's something here about, I'm hearing like, oh, okay, well, if you're not going to give me what I want, I'm going to go over here then. There's something petty within that energy, okay? I am strong is on the bottom of the deck. This person's really calm and passionate and connected to spirit. And it's irritating you because you're not seeing them stressed out and upset over you initially walking away from them. You're the one who walked away. If it's not bringing you peace and this person's at peace, then you didn't make the right choice. That's your choice that you made. You have to face the consequences of that choice. You can't expect, there's this game of, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to get you to come validate me. And you're like, it's like someone's like looking behind them like, well, why are you not coming? I need you to chase me. And this person's not chasing because they don't play in that energy. They want to break those cycles with people. I really feel like I'm really struggling. I really am struggling as to whether or not I'm going to put this reading out, because it feels almost like it's coming across really shitty and that I'm attacking, but I don't want it to come across that way. And at the same time, I'm picking up on that energy because you're getting really defensive, because you don't want to admit to yourself that you may be the one in the wrong. But it feels very much like you've gone from projecting your anger and hate from this healer to whoever is around them, whoever they're hanging out with, because you're jealous and envious that they're tapping into them. And it's almost like you're kind of like I'm kind of hearing you say, I don't know if you're saying this out loud, but in your head you're like, you don't deserve to be with them. I've been supporting them for years. I've been their friend for years. I've been around them. I've known them much longer than you. That means I deserve to have access. That means I should have had this invite. I should have had this, that, and the other. That doesn't guarantee you an invite. Nobody owes you anything. And if this person isn't seeing that your words are in alignment with your actions and that you're actually stepping up and supporting, there's something here about promoting. Oh, I've been telling them for years that they need to promote themselves. Yeah, you may have, but what's wrong with you liking or putting your name to something and sharing people's posts and things like that and promoting them yourself? Maybe that's your purpose. Maybe that would show that you genuinely support this person, instead of just ignoring, accessing what they're posting and then ignoring it. Whereas this other person that this third party that is around this healer may actually be doing things that actively show that they're supportive of this person. And they may not be liking their posts, they may not be making comments or sharing stuff, but there may be things that they're doing behind the scenes, like if somebody's making videos, they're watching the videos with them, and you know, they may be editing that person's videos, or behind the scenes when somebody's having anxiety or self-doubts about whether or not they're good at it, just making sure that they are like reminding that person of who they are. That's how you support people. It doesn't have to be in the form of likes or comments. There are plenty of ways to show your support. But it feels to me there's something about you were watching, something to do with watching somebody's readings, all of them, because you felt like you had to, but you weren't. Again, it's just coming back to the energy of you weren't doing it for the right reasons. You were doing it because you wanted this person to feel like they owed you. You weren't giving for the sake of giving because it's who you are. You were giving with the intention to receive. And I don't think that you are consciously aware of that. And that is what Spirit are trying to draw your attention to, okay? Now, to become more spiritually aware, to be more conscious of your intentions behind your actions, you need to start looking up. You need to start tapping into your intuition. You need to start doing things to actively raise your vibration, okay? Because when you're stuck in this stagnant energy, and I can just feel as I'm sitting here, the energy just feels really heavy. I feel like I've got a weighted blanket on me. Your energy feels very, very heavy. It's really heavy. You need to release that energy, okay? You need to clear your energy. You have all the knowledge and information within you. If you're not sure about something, then you can do the research, or and that may be going to another person or this person and asking them. That may be doing your research, but then you're taking that research back and you're working on it. You're not expecting them to do the research for you, work out what it is that you need. Because then you're not self-aware of what you're not attuned to your body and your own needs. You're relying on somebody else to tell you what you need. And you need to start, I'm hearing you need to start parenting yourself. Okay? I'm going to leave this here because it really feels like I am genuinely getting a bit concerned about putting this reading out because I feel like I'm going to get some backlash. But if I don't give you the information that you need to do your shadow work, then I'm doing you a disservice. So please know that if you've got this far, I really am coming from a place of love and I want the best for you. I want you to shift out of this cycle so you can tap into your own abundance, okay? And sometimes I'm just not going to sugarcoat things, okay? Because it's not going to help anyone. So sometimes it's going to come across that the message is shitty, but sometimes it's the only way you're going to listen to what you need to hear. I feel like there are people around you that do tend to sugarcoat things because they worry about upsetting you, but they're not helping you, okay? They're just enabling you to continue in these toxic cycles. And I really, really, really want you to shift and end these and move out of them, okay? I probably will put this reading out and just hope that it gets interpreted for the message that it is and not as an attack, okay? Okay, I'm going to leave it here. I really do hope that this helped to clear up some confusion. I do feel like the confusion is starting to shift, which I did say that Spirit were going to try and clear up some, we're going to clear up some confusion for you in this reading. yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Namaste.